So for this first class, we're going to begin with practicing some color mixing, and we are using fresh paint right out of the tube. We've got French Ultramarine, Rose Madder Lake, and Sennelier Yellow Deep. Another alternative yellow is cadmium yellow. We want something a little bit on the warm side for this exercise. And I squeeze just a small amount into the center of my tray. And the reason is because it's a bowed in the center, and that is for the juices to run out to the side. And that is where we do a lot of the color mixing. So keep your paints towards the center of the tray. Now I also have a big jug of water close by and paper towels. I want to be able to wash my brush in between each color, and I have paper towels to wipe my brush off on to help control the amount of water in the brush. So now we're going to first create our own color wheel, and you can see I've divided the top half into a cool section and the bottom half into a warm section. And I like to describe the cool colors as the ice side and the warm colors as the fire side. So we've got our yellows and oranges and reds on the warm side, and that is like a fire color. And then the blues, greens, and purples, those are the cool colors, and I always think of blue like ice. So that's how to help remember that. So let's get some blue going now. You only need to pull a tiny, tiny little bit of that color from the side and start swirling it around with some water until there are no chunks left and it is a smooth, buttery texture, just like melted butter. So I'm keeping it transparent. It's not supposed to be painted on thick like acrylic. And I'm just going to fill in that top center chunk of my pie here. And that will be the blue. This is also a little practice in just applying your paint evenly. It's a small wash. Okay, so now the blue's filled in. So now I'm moving on to the rose, and so just skip one over from the blue and start with the rose, which will be the red. And rose is a cool red, and we'll get more into the difference between warm and cool versions of each color later. But for now, we're just going to call this red. And then next we just skip one over and put in the yellow. And so we have evenly spaced all three primaries. And try to get 3 even little washes here. So now, going back to first grade again, you remember the rainbow is Roy G. Biv. And that's for red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet. And a color wheel is just a rainbow that's been twisted around and connected together at the ends with the red and the violet. And you may also remember for first grade that in order to make orange, all you have to do is mix the red and the yellow. So I am just gonna pull some of this red over into the yellow and stir them together until I have a nice colored orange. So if it looks too red, pull in more yellow. If it looks too yellow, pull in more red, and keep going back and forth until it's a nice even mixture. And I'm going ahead and leaving a little space in between so they don't bleed into each other, but if you want to let them touch each other and see what they do when the sides mix, go ahead and do that. That is another technique in watercolor that we use a lot. Next, we need to mix the green. So on the other side, I'm just going to pull over some yellow and blue. And what you're going to get with this mixture of colors, since this is a warm yellow and a cool blue, that means that both of these have a touch of red in them, and that is going to dull down our green and make it a little olive. So don't expect a bright green from these two. And as I said, we'll go more into warm and cool variations of each color later. But for now, just get as good of a green as you can. And lastly, I'm just going to grab some of that blue and bring it over to the rose side and start mixing my violet. And usually I want it to be a little heavier on the blue side to get a nice purple, so fill in my violet. And there is your own color wheel. So we have one more practice exercise before we do our painting, and that is value. So I have these little squares and I'm marking them 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And these are the 5 steps of value. And when you hear me refer to something as being a value of level 1, that means I want it to be light like the sky. And 5 is the darkest dark that you can get. So what we're going to do is remember that when you mix all of the colors together, you end up with black. So I'm going to try to mix my blue and my yellow and my red until I get my own homemade black here. And we're going to need a big batch of this, so go ahead and make a lot because our whole next painting is going to be done with this homemade black. Okay, so now I don't have a ton of water in my brush, just enough to keep it moist, and I'm going to use it in its darkest form here and fill in the number 5. And then I find when it's doing these, the next easiest step is to create your number 1. So when you wash off your brush, before you completely clean it all the way and there's still just a tiny little bit of paint in, that's what you use to create your number 1. So I can see already that I did not clean off my brush enough, and this is coming in a level darker than what I want it to be. So in order to lighten things, keep adding more water, and with your paper towel you can blot it and lift some of that paint back up. And so there, I blotted it. Now I'm just going to add some more water. And then if you clean off your brush and squeeze out all the water from your brush, that also can act like a mop, and you can use that to lift off some of the paint as well until you get a very nice light shade number 1. Now I'm going to skip over to the number 4, and I will make that one level lighter than the number 5. Now these middle ones are a little bit tricky and they take a little bit of adjusting, but I just go back and forth with adding more and lifting some off until it is all 5 even stages going up. So I'm trying to be a little bit lighter here with this number 3, and already it's looking like I don't have enough of a difference to make a number 2, so I'm going to have to make number 4 darker. So you can just add another layer of paint on top of there to get it a little bit darker. And one more layer on here. So now my 3 looks right, but the 4 and the 3 look a little too close, so I'm going to add more to the 4. And now for the 2. So just water it down a little bit to lighten it. It's too dark. And once I get these even, just a little bit more on the 3, then that will be it for our little practice. And next we're going to move on to our actual painting for the day in part 2.